major karmic blocks to receiving in relationships, receiving money, receiving abundance, receiving from the universe are being revealed this Thursday because we have a really big thing going. Number one, the North Node is in Pisces, which is already dissolving collective energy, bringing us into the unknown, dissolving long-standing, lifelong patterns, revealing subconscious blocks. This is what I mean by blocks are being illuminated, so that you can actually get in alignment with your truth, which is your limitless nature. So what's happening on Thursday, March 27th, is Venus retrograde. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, relationships, but really Venus represents our relationship to money, our relationship to humans, our relationship to giving and receiving, our relationship to pleasure, our relationship to beauty. It is all relationships. One sec, gotta let my dog out. So when Venus goes retrograde, we're reflecting on all of those things. We're reflecting on self-worth. We're reflecting on money. We're reflecting on the give and take in relationships. And here's the interesting thing. When Venus moves into 29 degrees of Pisces tomorrow, it will immediately meet up with Neptune in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. Neptune and Pisces both dissolve things. They dissolve away. They work in the unconscious realm. It's the energy that you can't grasp onto, but lives around you. Pisces energy is your subconscious. It is your subconscious blocks, but it's also magic once you've healed the subconscious blocks, because once you've healed the subconscious blocks, you're connected to your limitless nature. It can naturally come in now, because every single person on this planet is limitless, including you. You literally, there's nothing in this world you cannot have, no matter what circumstance you live in. That is what Pisces teaches us. And so when Venus retrograde moves into this anoretic, this go big or go home degree of Pisces energy, and it comes to hang out with Neptune, the planet that rules Pisces, you can expect major karmic endings, major blocks being revealed when it comes to your relationship to anything. Your relationship to pleasure, your relationship to self-worth, your relationship to receiving money. And it's likely going to sneak up behind you, something you didn't see before, almost like an energetic block you didn't realize was always there, blocking your abundance, blocking your ability to have true equality in your life, true balance in your life, true harmony in your life. So I'll give an example. I have been having so many of those things happen. In fact, I've had 4 coworkers in the past week and a half that I've ran into in person from my job 6 years ago. I have not seen these people in 6 years, yet I've ran into all of them. And you want to know what it actually showed me, since it's a Venus retrograde? It showed me how much I used to hang around people who are not in alignment with my values whatsoever. And it's weird. It's almost like they were coming back into my life now so that I could see how much I was going against my worth, how much I was going against my values back then, and why I was so miserable. That the only reason I was miserable is because I thought I had to overextend myself to have connection, to have love, to have friendships. And at the time, when I overextended myself for all of these people at my job, I didn't even really like them. Hopefully they don't listen to my podcast, but you're good people. We're just not the same. We don't have the same values. Like I would big on working out, big on meditation, big on personal development, big on all of those things. And none of them were into any of those things. They were like opposite of those things. Yet I would overextend myself for these people that didn't share any values of mine. And it's so funny because I used to wonder why I couldn't make any friends, why I was so awkward, why no one liked me. It's because I didn't like me. I didn't hold my value, I didn't hold my worth, and I didn't allow life to meet my values. I didn't allow life to meet my standards. I tried to control what I received by overextending myself for other people and being likable instead of being like, no, you meet me. You can be in my world if you meet me. And so, for example, what has really been shown to me is how much I have grown and separated away from being that version of myself who used to, I don't know, pretend I was someone I was not, to where I am now. In every conversation I had with each one, it was so easy for me to not overextend myself this time. It was almost like this final test. And that's what this aspect could feel like tomorrow, this final test. Are you really going to go against your energy and keep doing this pattern? Are you really going to keep overextending yourself like you get a scarcity bill and you're going to freak out and do that same pattern? Is that really getting you out of that pattern? Is me overextending myself to have a nice conversation with someone that I don't care to have a conversation with really in alignment with my true value and my energy and what I want? No. And so I've had 4 opportunities to say no to people, and not in a mean way, just in a way of like, hi, good to see you. I'm going to keep walking. Old version of me would think I couldn't do that. So that's one example of what this aspect could look like tomorrow. Another example, this one was a big one for me because this is a very subconscious illumination. You're likely going to feel it more than you're going to know it. It's almost like the feeling you're going to get around either receiving something or chasing something or working really hard for something, like some pattern that's coming to an end for you as it relates to Venus themes. It's not going to be super conscious. And this is the example I'm going to tell you. So I don't know where to start with this. There's a couple things. Hold on, I'm going to wait for this tightness. So, number 1, I didn't realize I was subconsciously blocking receiving from people who are happy to give me money. And this might be something that's showing up for you where you might say to yourself, what do you mean? I do receive from these people. I receive from these people all the time. How could I still be blocked from receiving if I'm receiving from certain people? Because that's exactly what I thought. That's what I mean by this. This might be a very subconscious, subtle thing that's shown to you. But the realization I had recently was I've always had financial support from boyfriends and my parents, and I know that that's always been there. And God, it's so painful for me to say this, and I'll tell you, oh God, I'm gonna get emotional. Okay, I'll tell you why it's painful for me to say this. Because I've had a lot of people say to me, Rachel, it's easy for you because you have a boyfriend and he can pay for all your bills. Rachel, it's easy for you because your parents support you and pay for all of these things. It's easy for you because of this. And what people don't know is that it's not easy for me because of those things. It's actually really painful for me to receive. And I didn't realize that that's why I'd get so pissed off when people would tell me that. And it's because I have Pluto. So if you don't know, I have Pluto. It's my planet of death and rebirth, where my trauma is, where power struggles is, in my second house of money and resources. And I recently realized that I have this deep ingrained belief that I do not want people to pay for me. I want to die before you pay for me. Like, I'm gonna get emotional over this because I don't want it. I wanna pay for myself because I don't want anyone to be able to hold any money over me, ever, ever. I've been a little traumatized by it, and I've had a boyfriend who had a lot of money in high school, and he would buy me everything and hold it over my head, and it's just this subconscious pattern, and so, like, when people say, "You're lucky you have a boyfriend, parents to pay for you," I'm like, "But you don't understand, like, I am lucky, I get what you're saying, but it literally feels like this when I have to receive support from other people, and so I do everything in my power to I do everything in my power to not have my boyfriend support me, to not have my parents support me, to just not have people support me because I wanna be free. I wanna be the empowered one, and so here's the little mini subconscious block. Like, while I do have that safety to fall back on, subconsciously, I did not have that safety to fall back on, and so every time Ryan pays for something, my parents pay for something, I die a little inside. It fills up my piggy bank of pressure and, "Okay, you really have to make your way. You're gonna be the one who pays all of that money back, so they can never hold it over your head." Not that my parents ever have, not that Ryan ever really does. It's just it's in there. And I realized today that it was a giant block I had to receiving. I have all of this support. I have all this abundance that comes to me, and I never fully receive it. Because what is receiving? Receiving is slowing down and feeling something and allowing it to sink and settle into your body. It's a feeling, it's not an action. And that's a big lesson for this aspect that's happening on Thursday, this Venus conjunct Neptune. It's going to show you these subtle ways you block receiving because you're not slowing down enough to receive the beauty, to receive the pleasure, to receive security. Security, pleasure, abundance, it's in the present moment. If you can't slow down and practice receiving the present moment and you're always reacting to things and cutting off the present moment so that you can pay the money back so that they can't have power over you, or you get a scary bill and instead of sitting there and receiving that you have whatever the bill is paying for, you go, "Oh no, look, I have to work really hard to make the money." You close off. You close off the receiving of any money to pay that bill and you make it way harder for yourself. So, like, that's what I was doing with Ryan and my parents. They pay for me. Even when I have a friend pay for me, I have in my body, you are paying them back as fast as possible. The pressure just gets stronger and it would block receiving. And I didn't realize it was a subtle way in which I was doing it until today, or maybe it was, no, a few days ago, but it was also today, where I used Ryan's credit card to pay a bill to just help myself out with something, not coming from a scarcity place, just to pay for it, which is new for me. I would never normally do that. Must be like a weird eclipse thing going on. And I remember I felt grateful because I don't know, it was like this realization of like, wait a second, I'm really lucky. Wait a second. I have a lot of support and I wasn't fully receiving it. Like, I'm so secure, but I haven't slowed down enough to receive it. I immediately said, okay, now you have to work really hard to pay Ryan back, even though he doesn't even ask for it. It's it's like an energetic thing. And so I practiced this morning after I paid the bill with his card. I just sat with it and I felt it. And I sat with it for a long time until I felt how grateful I felt for it. And then oddly, like I've had like 2 sales come in and I made like $500 without trying. And I've talked about this on many episodes before this episode, how we're breaking karmic patterns and it's not logical. We're breaking karmic patterns and it's so energetic. It's so related to how much calm and safety you can receive in your body by practicing getting into the present moment. And it doesn't mean you have to feel amazing in the present moment. It means that you just have to allow yourself to start receiving the present moment if you want to open yourself up to receiving more. And what's really interesting is the Aries solar eclipse we have on Saturday. A major aspect that we have is between Uranus and Taurus, which is giving us an awakening to Taurus themes, which are how important the present moment is, how your true worth and value are the more you practice being present, not how much you overextend yourself. For some reason, we've been taught that overextending ourselves creates value. No, you owning the present moment and owning your presence is the value in itself. And I know everyone says your beingness is worthy. The thing is no one is willing to practice it enough to really gain the evidence to see how much worthy it makes them to be present. So Uranus and Taurus at this eclipse on Saturday is in a sextile by exact degree to Saturn in Pisces, helping you put boundaries around your energy, where you overextend yourself, where you block off receiving because you're trying too hard, you're leaking energy, you're thinking you are not worthy to just be. Here's a good example. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this podcast. I always hope, whatever, if you listen to this podcast, love you. You know what's on my heart. So I have a friend, and he's a Pisces, and every time I would see him, we would just not like click conversationally. Clicks with Ryan, but me and him would not click. I would try to click with him. Like I would try to start the conversation and do the thing I always did. I would overextend my energy for him. And I noticed Hmm. I noticed that he would like want to end the conversation really quickly with me every single time. And I just chalked it up to whatever. I This is not it, or I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but whatever. So I've been practicing being in my energy, as I told you guys. I've been practicing creating awkward silences and not talking past where I want to talk. And I ran into him today at the dog park. And I decided not to carry the conversation or do what I normally do with him. So I just said hi and I didn't talk. And what ended up happening is he just stayed with me and didn't move, and we just stood together while our dogs played. And then he kept asking me questions. Like he kept trying to make the conversation keep going. And I remember, and I was like, this is interesting. I've never had him ask me questions and try to keep the conversation going. Usually he's trying to get away as quickly as possible. And I wasn't trying to talk at all. I was literally just practicing being. I felt a little tightness and I was like, Rachel, just don't talk and just be with him. And if he wants to talk, he can. Well, we end up standing next to each other for like 30 minutes and he's carrying the whole conversation. And then we end up leaving together. And I get in my car and I have this realization of how fucking hard I tried to be his friend. And all I had to do was not try. He's a Pisces. He could probably feel that overextending energy. He could probably feel, I want to be your friend. That's what Pisces energy feels like. That's why it's repelling to people. I want to pay my bill. Help me pay my bill. I'll do everything to pay my bill. It's like, It's like, make me feel good. Make me feel worthy. That's what happens when we overextend ourselves. I'm making fun of myself right now, so don't think I'm making fun of you. I've already gotten a lot of evidence over this past month how important beingness is, but this was mind-blowingly evident to. So, this is my encouragement to you for tomorrow, for this Aries partial eclipse. Realize that you can do no wrong when you are in alignment with you and just speaking your truth. Realize that your power is actually in saying way less, doing way less. Well, if you want to say a lot, you can say a lot, but I don't like to say a lot. Your power is in less. Your power is in more beingness, more presence, more owning that I just get to be here. And it's not in doing more. And I'm recording this because I think a lot of people have the opportunity to have massive karmic breakthroughs, massive endings to karmic patterns of overextending yourself for people, for situations that will never be able to meet you where you're at. You get to be in your beingness and have life meet you. Have other people carry the conversation. Have your beingness attract financial opportunities. Have your beingness create natural balance in your life. And respond when the energy wants to flow. That is being in alignment with your limitless nature. I'm not saying you're just going to sit and do nothing the rest of your life. But the thing is you will never get in alignment with your real energy until you get comfortable with the beingness. Because when you can slow down to the pace of nature, remember Uranus and Taurus is giving us the breakthrough at this eclipse, you'll be able to hop into your current. But if you're going to keep closing off receiving by saying, okay, I have to pay it back, or okay, I have to move fast, or I have to respond to this, I have to carry the conversation, you are blocking your Venus retrograde lessons and blocking your limitless potential because you are limitless. And that will be the highest expression of you learning this lesson over these next few days. Re-listen to this episode if you need to. If you would like guidance, unwinding these deep, deep patterns, that is what I am the best at. I am not a superficial coach. I'm not a superficial astrologer. I repeat, do not book a reading with me if you want me to just tell you all of the amazing things that are going to happen over the next year and not tell you the real, because I won't do that. I don't tell you the fluff, light, and love. I tell you how to actually gain growth. I tell you your gifts and I empower you for fucking sure, but I tell you the real. I tell you the exact thing, the real. Not in a disempowering way. Not in a, you suck, you gotta work on this, but you wanna get here? I'm pointing it out right here, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to get there. And it's probably gonna be uncomfortable, because real transformation is fucking uncomfortable. You think it's comfortable for me to create awkward silences all over the place when I've been overextending and over-talking my whole life? No, I wanna die. But now that it's been 3 weeks later, I see the benefits, and I feel more solid in myself, in life, than ever. And this is always how it is. Whenever I go through a transformation, it feels like death, and then it feels like the biggest freedom you will ever have in your fucking life. Okay? And here's the other thing. You're probably my people if you like learning lessons and you're not ever sick of learning lessons, because we are here to learn lessons. And if you resist lessons, those are the people who don't like to continue to learn lessons because they're resisting their own power. When you learn lessons, like a true lesson, a deep lesson, like the lessons I do in my containers, You have so much power on the other side. You want more lessons because that power feels so much better, so much freer, so much sturdier than the lesson you had to learn, that you will keep learning lessons because you're like, fuck yeah, what's on the other side? Fuck yeah. No harm to you and no judgment to you if you are like, yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons and I hate them. You can hate them. Maybe if you worked with me, you'll start loving them. But know that if you do work with me, I'm gonna make like that's where we go. And so it's not for everyone. Okay. If you want to apply for one-on-one coaching, you have to get a birth chart reading first. So I'm going to put my birth charting link down below in the show notes. If you want to apply for one-on-one coaching, you can do that. And I reach out as I have spots available, as I find people applicable. And that's all I have to say. May you learn all of your Venus retrograde lessons. May you dissolve this lifelong karmic pattern. You come into your beingness. You come into way more peace and you realize how powerful you always were. Mwah!